All right, this is a lot easier than it seems. Q, X, P, N, Y. If you see letters, they are just some number that we don't know. They're a question mark, okay? So if I have U minus 2 equals 8, if you've been with me any amount of time, then you know that I've done things like question mark minus 2 equals 8. Some big number minus 2 equals 8. Big number. If I take away 2, I'm going to have 8 left over. That's 8 and 2 is going to give me that answer. That's 10 minus 2 equals 8. So if I have 10 and I take away 2, that's 8. If that's true, then my question mark here was 10. So if you look over here, you're going to see that you have a U. So in order to solve for a letter, that's just a question mark. Don't get confused, okay? And if you remember that if we have 10 plus 2 or plus 2 minus 2, if I add 2, that's 12. If I take away 2, that's 10. Anytime I do plus 2 minus 2, I'm just adding a 0. It's like adding a 0 because it doesn't really matter. This is plus 2 minus 2. So if I have 10, here's 10, and I go plus 2 minus 2. Oh, same thing, okay? So that's what we're going to do here, okay? We're going to apply this to this, and we're going to know that if I go 8 plus 2 equals 10. Really, I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to add 2 to it. This is 0. I cross it out because it's nothing. Minus 2 plus 2, that's nothing. So then I have U equals 8 plus 2. U equals 8 plus 2. All this step here is a trick for getting to this answer really quickly, for figuring out, because as these numbers get bigger, it's not going to be really easy to figure out that this is 10. We're going to have like 100 minus U plus Y equals 36. That's what we're going to go to. And you're going to know how to solve for all of that, okay? But right now, all we got to learn how to solve for are these small ones. And some of them are pretty easy to figure out. Like 5 equals X minus 9. 5 equals X minus 9. So 5 is some number minus 9. Or we can say this way, because it doesn't matter what side I have it on. X minus 9 is 5. So some number, this is question mark, some number, this is the whole number. If I take away 9, I'm going to have 5 left. So really, 9 and 5 is what I have to add together so that I can take away 9 so that I can get 5 left over, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if I had 14 minus 9, that does equal 5. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay? That does equal 5. How I'm going to solve it, though, because I can solve it by just thinking about it, or I can say, and this is what I want you to do. I don't want you to solve it by thinking about it, because I know you can. That's how you can check yourself to make sure you're right. What I want you to do is take X minus 9 equals 5. Okay? And remember that we just flip these two sides. It doesn't matter what side they're on because they're equal, so it doesn't really matter. If I do 14 minus 9, that's 5. So 5 equals 5. So it doesn't really matter. So X minus 9 equals 5. I'm going to add 9. This is what I'm adding to my question mark. So I'm going to add 9 on both sides of the equal sign. And if I add 9 on both sides of the equal sign, that's going to give you my answer because this is canceled out. So I have X equals 5 plus 9. And that's kind of just what we already did, right? X equals 5 plus 9, that's 14. So if I took X equals 14, I got to an X equals something, okay? And if I plug in this into my original equation, then it will be correct. So 5 equals 14 minus 9. Is that correct? That is right. So I did this question correctly. Let's do one from the back. I have 80 equals 24 plus H. H is my question mark. I don't know what that number is, okay? So 80 is 24 plus some number. Well, I know it's going to be 50 or something or somewhere around there because I know math, 56 maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know. So I'm going to do this. This is a plus 24. If there's no plus or minus in front of it, this is a plus 24. So I'm going to subtract 24 on both sides. That's going to cancel this out, and that's going to isolate the unknown variable. This is the unknown variable. It's my question mark, right? So I'm going to isolate my unknown variable by taking away whatever was added to it, but I have to do it on the other side. So I have 80 minus 24 equals H. 80 minus 24, so 80 minus 20 is 60. 60 minus 4 is 56. And if I wanted to do it with borrowing, I would have to borrow because 0 minus 4 I can't do. So I would make this turn into a 10. And this 8 would turn into a 7. 10 minus 4 is 6. And 7 minus 2 is 5. Now, when I add subtraction into this, I'm going to have questions like, it's the same way. Here's the only difference. Right here, if I were to switch these, I would have H plus 24 equals 80. This is the exact same equation that's up here. This 24 plus H equals 80. It's the same thing here. So, if I have a subtraction question, my unknown for F minus 17 equals 31. My unknown is the letter. I don't know what this is. It's a question mark. Okay? So if I have some number minus 17 equals 31. Okay? If some number minus 17 equals 31, then it has to be bigger than 17. Right? It has to be bigger than 31. It's actually going to be these two added together. But I'm just going to do this. If this is the subtraction, this is the trick. If that's a subtraction mark, whatever I'm adding or subtracting to my unknown variable, I'm going to do the opposite of that, and I'm going to add the constant that I'm adding there. Okay? And I'm going to do it to both sides. Now this one cancels out, and so I'm going to have F equals 31 plus 17. 7 and 1 is 8. 3 plus 1 is 4. The answer is 48. Now, if I took this, F equals 48, and I added it into this equation, and I said F is 48 now. So if F is 48, and I take away 17, I'm going to get 31. Now, let's see if that's true. 8 minus 7 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. That's 31, so this is correct. Yes, it's checked. So I want to see you guys making sure that you're checking these questions as you're going through them. So if I have 31 plus x equals 53, okay? If you see a plus x here, you can flip this. You can say x plus 31 equals 53, okay? Because it doesn't really matter what order they go in as long as they're still true. Right? I couldn't say x minus 31, but I'm just going to flip them, okay? So x minus plus 31 is 53. Now remember, with the addition problems, I can flip them. Can I do that with subtraction? I cannot. If this said 31 minus x, I could not just flip this, okay? So you cannot do that with subtraction. But since it's addition, I can, okay? So something plus 31 is 53, okay? Something plus 31 is 53. So I'm going to look here, and what's being added to my unknown is it's an addition, so I'm going to subtract it. So I'm going to have minus 31, but I've got to do it on both sides of the equal sign. Some people draw a line like that at the equal sign, so I know that whatever happens over here has to happen over here because they're going to be equal. If you need to draw the line to see it, that's fine. If I have plus 31 and minus 31, that's canceled out. So I'm going to have x equals 53 minus 31. 3 minus 1 is 2, and 5 minus 3 is 2. The answer is 22. Now if I come up here and I plug it into the original equation, I would have 31 plus 22 equals 53. And all I'm doing now is checking, since I added this in where my x is at, I'm just checking to see if this is correct information. So 31 plus 20, 41, 41, 51, plus 2, 52, 53. The answer is correct.